Sybelle Thomson is a fifth-generation auctioneer.
Are you okay back there, pal?
With 3 auction houses across Scotland. Her Edinburgh flagship, one near the borders in the rolling hills in Dumfries, and another on the west coast in Ayr.
At £150.
With her devoted team,
I'm holding £150.
Shiny bins.
You are so good, Caroline.
son and heir to her auction house empire, Cameron,
I'll be a better driver.
Don't be rude about my driving.
and her beloved dog, Roscoe,
No, Roscoe!
she's on a mission to help customers clear their homes
Oh, lots of items up here.
of curios,
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a Royal Albert phone.
And it works as well.
Amazing.
heirlooms,
Tea was such an expensive commodity, and so every tea caddy had a lock.
and once treasured collections.
Kevin Keegan, now he, I'm sure, had a perm in the 80s, a bit like me.
And make them a tidy little sum come auction day.
£350.
Holy moly.
That was worth the effort.
It's estimated that over half of Britons have something they like to collect.
Lot 22, collection of dinky super toys.
And Sybelle and her team often get the chance to auction a collection which has been lovingly put together over a lifetime. From porcelain ornaments
The older generation still love their Dalton lady figures.
to fine wines and spirits.
Just want to open them, you know.
In Ayr, Sybelle's right-hand man, Michael, is putting together an auction dedicated to collectibles.
Wow, is that what I think it is?
Monk's chair with the wee carved monks on the back rail.
I love that.
Where are you off to next?
Roscoe and I are off to a holiday caravan.
You won't get a lot in the caravan, will you?
They say they've loads of pieces of Royal Albert.
What's the pattern?
Country Roses.
Founded in 1896 in Stoke-on-Trent, Royal Albert specialised in china tea and breakfast sets with floral designs. The most popular pattern, Old Country Roses, is highly collectible.
You better take some boxes with you.
I thought here would be the perfect place to sell it.
Great.
So
Good luck. Bring it back. I'll photograph it. We'll get it online.
that's it, and we'll have an auction.
For Sybelle, it's worth the 2.5-hour drive to Berwick-on-Tweed in Northumberland, where married couple Graham and Paul keep their holiday caravan in the picturesque grounds of Barmore Castle. The Royal Albert china that Sybelle's coming to see was collected by Graham's former partner, Kieran.
I met Kieran in 2007. He had collected Royal Albert for many years, and we would go on the days off from work and we would travel miles looking for Royal Albert. And once he found it, he was happy.
But in 2018, after 11 years together, Graham suffered a tragic loss.
I lost Kieran through suicide. He was 48. He was a character. I loved him to bits, but obviously things then didn't work out for him. I thought, I'm on my own, this is the best in my life. And then through a friend, I met Paul, and it's been fantastic.
Graham lost his partner through suicide. I lost mine through cancer. It's bonded with together because we have that circumstances of where we both lost a partner.
I think Royal Albert with Kieran. Now with Paul, we're down to basic plates, aren't we? But
Paul's just basic.
yeah.
Morning.
Morning, Sybelle.
Yeah,
Get yourself in.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you both. So I suppose we better get to the question in hand.
Aye. My late partner Kieran, he collected Royal Albert for many, many years.
And did you and Kieran use it every day?
But he used every day.
I think that's fabulous.
For several years, Kieran's china collection has been stored away in one of the bedrooms in the caravan.
Wow. I thought you were exaggerating the amount you had.
Oh no, there's boxes and boxes and boxes of it all.
So why don't we all grab a box
That would be
and
easy,
head
yeah.
for the table in the...
That would be easier,
Living room.
yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
There's 8 boxes of china to get through, and Kieran's collected more than just cups and saucers.
Let's see what we can find. You're not going to believe this.
A dog bowl.
Fortunately, this one's got a wee chip.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So maybe there was a dog drinking out of it at some
Yeah,
stage.
probably was.
And I think I've just found the second dog bowl. Not terribly practical letting your dog drink out of a china bowl like this.
Well, no, it isn't.
But it's got the nice Old Country Roses Royal Albert mark. Really unusual. Never seen a dog bowl before.
Gently does it now, Roscoe.
Look at that, lad.
Do you know much about the factory itself? It was founded by two chaps from the Wilde family. They made lots of commemorative memorabilia pieces for Queen Victoria, and she was so impressed with them that within a year of trading, they got a royal warrant.
Right.
And in 1904, they renamed themselves as Royal Albert.
The Old Country Roses pattern was first used by the company in 1962, and it soon became a runaway success. Over 150 million pieces have now been sold worldwide. But the older sets are more sought after by the serious collectors.
So this is a quintessential English garden scene. You can just about smell the scent of it. This is really popular at auction. Despite changing tastes and people going for, in my view, slightly boring china at home, people are beginning to fall back in love with this.
Kieran was clearly ahead of the curve.
We had every plate, every cup, even tablecloths to lot were all Royal Albert. There were tons and tons of it. This was actually Kieran's favourite. It was a water bowl, which we kept in the bathroom. He loved this, I don't know why, but this was his favourite piece of Royal Albert. Hello, little boy.
Just half an hour in, and there's already over 100 pieces of china to load up.
Cheers, Paul.
There's a lot of it. It's going to take some sorting out when we get back with it. 5 teapots. They must have liked their tea. But again, just country roads. Interesting, a lot of them are identical. But this is a coffee pot rather than a teapot, and we can tell that from the shape. The teapots tend to be squatter because if you think of tea, it needs to infuse more, and more of it was covered in the hot water. Coffee pots tend to be more elongated.
As there are almost 800 individual pieces and several duplicate sets, everything will need to be properly sorted out back in air.
Well, I think we should crack on, get it packed. You've got those 2 ones in there, thanks very much.
With most of the china loaded up,
Another one in.
Graham's got one more thing to show Sybelle before she hits the road.
There's a phone call for you here.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a Royal Albert phone.
If it was Royal Albert, he would buy it. And it works as well.
So he used to phone you from this?
Yeah.
Amazing.
The phone and the last few pieces of Royal Albert are packed away for the journey to air.
How are you feeling now you see it all in the back of the Land Rover?
A lot of memories there leaving me, but it's a future to move on now. Hopefully we're going to enjoy it and cherish it like I did.
Look forward to seeing you at the auction soon.
I look
Thank
forward
you so
to
much
that.
indeed. Look forward to it. It's not the money, it's the fact I want to move on with my life now. And he'll be quite proud.
Aye, definitely.
If you've gone to somebody decent or a nice big posh house, he'll be thinking, I got good taste there.
It's taken Ayr Auction House valuer David 22 hours to split 800 pieces of Kieran's Royal Albert collection into 23 lots.
You got the tough bit, actually. How did you manage to lot it all up?
Well, it took a bit of deciphering, but we kept all the dinnerwares together and we put the teawares into sets. Then all the trinket dishes and things, we separated them out. Just to nice, desirable lots, hopefully.
And you've even got an oven glove.
An oven glove.
And it's been used.
It has, and a tablecloth and some mats as well.
We should be setting up a tea party.
Graham and Paul have made the 140-mile journey to watch Kieran's treasured collection go under the gavel.
Wow, look at this.
Oh, look.
Amazing, isn't it? Lots of memories here, Pearl. Lots of memories.
We're looking forward to seeing what goes. We're going to spend the money on.
We want something in memory of Kieran, something we can keep to remember Kieran by.
Something nice.
Hi, how are you two?
Hello.
Hello there.
So how are you feeling now you've seen it all?
A little bit emotional. Lot of memories here, but you've got to move on now and think about the future.
Well, you're going to start your own collecting now. You pair are going to make your own memories.
Oh, of course. Fresh start, new chapter.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
As Graham and Paul take their seats, John gets ready for some very delicate portering duties. Keeping across the online bids are Edwin and David. As Sybelle readies her rostrum, a ring of the bell gets the show on the road.
A lovely single collection, beautiful. And believe it or not, they came out of a mobile home.
For the first lot, David has put together a very comprehensive dinner service.
We've got 60 pieces of Royal Albert dinnerware, including bowls, plates, etc. Everything you've ever wanted. £50 to make a start. 50 bid, 50 bid, 55, 60, £60. Anyone else going on at 60? Bid up online at 65.
There's 2 online bidders hungry for this dinner service.
£70, 5. Think of the number of pieces at 75, 80, 80, £80. Any advance on 80, 85. Edwin's back in. Now, who am I missing in the room for this amazing collection at 85? Selling on Edwin's screen at 85, at £85.
That's a good start for Kieran's collection. Next, one for the phone bidders. It's the Old Country Roses porcelain telephone.
It was in use up to relatively recently, and it has fond memories for you.
It does, yeah.
I've got 10 bid, 10 bid, 10 bid at 10, 12, 15, 18, 18.
I love that phone.
Give us another ring. 18, 20, at 20, at £20.
That's a ringing endorsement for the telephone.
£20.
Over the next 10 minutes, Sybelle puts 20 more lots under the gavel, including a 24-piece coffee set.
At £40.
Kieran's favourite piece, the large porcelain bowl.
At £12.
An Old Country Roses patterned Royal Dalton figurine.
At £20.
And an Old Country Roses oven glove, placemats and tablecloth.
At £15.
I'm happy with that.
It's the final lot, the dog bowls that caught Sybelle's fancy back in the caravan.
I love these. I will say, Roscoe, the saleroom dog, did enjoy his tea out of it.
Sybelle has a bid on the book, meaning someone has already set their maximum bid.
And I'm straight in at 10, 12, 15,
An online bidder is interested too.
18, 20. You can feed your cat out to them too. Selling on the book at 20, 25. Lovely these at 25, at £25.
Very good. I'm happy with that.
Just the thing for a pampered pooch. After selling the collection of Royal Albert china, Graham and Paul are ready to move on. Although it was never really about the money, how much have they made to spend on a keepsake in memory of Kieran?
Hi guys.
Are you all right?
Yes, and how are you two?
Oh, great, thank you.
Have you enjoyed your auction experience?
Very good,
It's
actually.
been fantastic, yeah.
The dog bowls did okay.
Yeah,
yes,
sorry about that, lad. Sorry.
Yeah, you didn't get them, Roscoe.
No.
Oh, your mum didn't buy them for you.
You're actually taking home £454 after expenses.
That's very good, isn't
good.
it?
We're happy with
We're
that.
happy with that, yeah. Up to today, the actual auction, I was okay, but I think today it really hit me that it's going now, but it never come back.
All right.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Come on. We've done it.
We've got the drive home to go
Now
yet.
we've done it. Right. I said I won't cry.
Oh, God.
Right.
There's always another auction on the horizon. And in Edinburgh, Gavin and David are getting ready for an upcoming specialist whisky sale.
There was a bottle of 1926 Macallan, recently sold for 1.5 million.
So how much would a nip be?
Not in my price range.
Never mind.
We could go and ask Sybelle for a rise, well. Come on, let's go and do that. Yeah. Come on.
For high-end whisky, there are two main customers. One is somebody who wants to invest, and one is the collectors. And actually, there is a third. There is the connoisseur who just loves to drink superb quality whisky. I always tell people to invest in things that's going to give them pleasure. Because if it goes down in value, you can always drink it. Come on, up. We're off again on our travels.
Today, Sybelle is headed to Argyll in Western Scotland to meet a customer with a collection to enter in the sale. The coastal village of Toward is home to Ian and Wendy and their two border collies, Bonnie and Clyde.
Here, Clyde. Go and get it.
The couple moved here from Essex 7 years ago.
I love Scotland.
This is our forever home.
They can stay here until they take us out in a box.
Yeah, feet first.
Their new life here has been a fresh start for the couple after a workplace accident for former financial controller Ian turned their lives upside down in 2007.
I had a phone call from one of the colleagues that he was working with to say that he had had an accident and could I go to the hospital. I went in not knowing what to expect, and the look of fear on his face made me back off.
Ian was suffering from amnesia. He'd been found on the floor beside a filing cabinet in his office, but to this day he doesn't remember how he fell or anything about his life before waking up in hospital.
After the accident, I had to rebuild my life from the ground upwards. But I didn't know where I'd lived, I didn't know the schools, I didn't know my mum and dad. It was really, really difficult and really painful.
It was very, very stressful. We were like strangers.
With Wendy's help, Ian was able to put together a picture of who he was before the accident.
I knew I had a whisky collection because my wife told me so, but I didn't know where they came from. My memory still hasn't returned. So a lot of the whiskies I've got predate that, so they don't hold any real sentimental value. I'm just hoping they hold a monetary value.
Ian plans to spend the money raised from the sale of his collection of 50 bottles of whisky on a holiday in Southeast Asia for Wendy.
Well, she's been my rock. She's been there for me, she's been my support. And the love has just grown deeper and deeper and deeper. We still have kiss first thing in the morning, last thing at night. No, I couldn't be without Wendy.
Morning, lovely to meet you both.
My name's Ian.
I'm Wendy.
Lovely.
Nice to meet you. Come on in.
Come on into the whisky room.
Thank you.
Ian has 2 cabinets full of whisky that he's happy to send to auction.
So, how did you come to have all this amazing whisky?
It's been a collection over many, many years. A lot of it was before my accident, so I don't actually remember how I got hold of it.
Can I ask, do you like the odd dram?
No, I'm a brandy drinker. I don't drink whiskey.
I might agree with you slightly on that.
While Wendy and Ian go and introduce Roscoe to Bonnie and Clyde, Sybelle gets down to business.
This is an amazing collection of whisky. I actually don't know where to look. Whisky originated in Ireland, and they would blame the monks, of course. They said they distilled it. Whisky in Gaelic means water of life. And then it came over to Scotland, and it has grown into a worldwide successful industry. This is an interesting bottle of Glen Grant. Glen Grant is probably one of the best known distilleries. Now this is a Speyside distillery from the particular valley, the Speyside, where the Spey River is, but really popular. This is a particularly nice bottle, it's 1951. The older the whisky, on the whole, the more valuable it is. But this does depend on whether it's a single malt or whether it's a blended. When it's a single malt whisky, it means that all of it was produced in the Glen Grant factory. That is a lovely bottle and been really well cared for. A bottle like that at auction, we'd hope would fetch £300 to £500. Unfortunately, Ian doesn't remember putting this collection together, but one thing is so obvious. He had a really good eye and I suspect what we call a really good palate.
The move to Scotland has helped Ian adjust to living with amnesia.
I still feel things are difficult because I don't have the past. I can't join in a lot of conversations. People talk about their school days, their childhood. I haven't got one. But I did have a blank page. And I like to think that what I've written on that page since has made me a better person.
But just like his old self, the new Ian has developed a taste for whisky and has even visited a few distilleries.
Found some interesting stuff, have you?
I really have.
Good.
I am blown away by some of this. But I wondered what you could tell me about this interesting bottle of Glen Turret.
Oh, well, you see, this is my piece de resistance.
Founded in 1763 in Perthshire, Glen Turret is one of the oldest distilleries in Scotland.
This bottle, it's signed by the outgoing distiller and the ingoing distiller at Glen Turret. I got a letter from Glen Turret stating it was the first bottle that he had ever signed.
You are so right as a collector to get this letter, because this is what collectors love, and it's called provenance.
Yeah.
So this is really good to see.
With 2 boxes already full, it's time for Sybelle to get her teeth into the golden treasure in the second cabinet.
This is a mind-blowing collection of Glengoyne whisky, and I think this collection is going to do really well.
Geography plays a big part in the flavour of Scottish whiskies, with the Highlands producing strong and robust spirits, while Lowland whiskies have a milder palate. But Sybelle's found a collection by a distillery that's the best of both worlds.
Glengoyne itself is a really interesting distillery. Believe it or not, there is a main road that goes right through the distillery. On the Highland side is where the copper stills are, but then the warehouses are actually over the county line in the Lowlands. This is a really interesting bottle of Glengoyne. It's distilled on Christmas Day, and it's a limited edition one. And I think this bottle could be worth £400 to £600 for one bottle alone.
Almost every single one of Ian's Glengoyne collection are limited editions and could fetch a similar price. So Sybelle is carefully taking all 16 bottles back to the auction house in Edinburgh.
A lot of heavy boxes on this job.
Suddenly, the cabinets are looking very bare.
How does it feel to see this whisky leaving your home?
A bit sad in some respects. There's some that I particularly will miss. But it's start with a new adventure, isn't it?
Because Ian doesn't remember putting his whisky collection together, I think maybe he doesn't feel it's actually his. The emotional connection that collectors have is so important, and I do think he lacks this. But I think this whisky will do really well at auction.
Back in Edinburgh, it's down to whisky lover Gavin to catalogue Ian's 50 bottles.
So when a collection like this comes in, I get really excited because I get to play, use my knowledge and experience as to which whiskies are going to be of more value than others. I'll show you a trick. Now, I've got 2 whiskies here. One's cask strength, one's not.
Most whiskies are diluted to an alcohol volume of 40 to 43% when they're bottled. But cask strength whiskies typically range from 50 to 70% and fetch a higher price.
Look at the bubbles on that. That disappears straight away, pretty much, right? This is cask strength. It's called beading. There's one way to check for forgeries. Well, if I shook that and that didn't bead, I would be worried. Definitely right.
Three weeks later, Ian and Wendy have made the 80-mile journey to see the whisky collection go under the gavel.
Come on, here we go. Wow. There it is, look.
That's yours?
Yep.
I really didn't realise you had so much in those cupboards.
Well, it might get you to Singapore if you're lucky.
That would be nice.
Some of them I'm a bit sad to see go, but most of them, they don't mean a lot to me. So, yeah, let them go. And then we can have a holiday in sun.
Oh, and then you'll soon build it up again.
What makes you think that?
I know you.
Morning, Ian. Morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
So it must be a wee bit strange for you, Ian, seeing everything that you've lovingly collected and acquired sort of laid out.
It is. It's strange. It's exciting. It's sad. But I think it's exciting really tops it.
So Gavin, who's catalogued it, is so excited by your collection.
Good.
It's a super collection, and we've had a lot of interest in it. Fingers crossed, I think we're going to have a good day.
I hope so.
Ross and Gavin are logging on to get ready for today's online bids. As Wendy and Ian take their seats and Sybelle takes her place on the rostrum, the auction can begin.
We now go on to this wonderful collection that's come all the way from Dunoon.
First up, it's the Glenturret 29-year-old Highland single malt, signed by the distillery manager.
And I can start straight in at 180, 180, 190, 200, 200, 220, 240, 250, 250. Anyone else going on at £250?
An excellent price for the first bottle.
That's not bad at all.
Next, it's the Speyside whisky, the 1951 bottle of Glen Grant single malt.
And I've lots of interest in this online, and I'm at 400, 420, 450, 480, 500.
Gavin and Ross each have an online bidder.
500.
Please.
550, 550, 550, 600. You're out, Ross, at 600. Lovely bottle, 600, 650, 650, 650, 650. Anyone else going on at 650? 700, 700,
Yes.
700. Have another look at 700. At £700.
Gavin's online bidder in Worcestershire wins the whisky.
That's not bad, is it?
No, they're good prices.
Over the next 20 minutes, Sybelle puts 46 more bottles under the gavel,
At £500.
including a cask-strength bottle of Glengoyne Highland single malt from 1972,
At £400.
and a 1969 bottle of Glengoyne.
At £420.
Paid £45 for that in 2004.
That's been a good investment.
That's not bad, is it?
Not bad.
There's just 2 more bottles of Glengoyne left to sell. First, a cask-strength single malt from 1968.
Another bottle of Glengoyne. They're 400, 450, 500, 600, 650, 700, 750.
Go on, keep going.
But just as well you didn't drink it at 750. At £750.
The lowest of the Highland whiskies are going down a treat. Now for the final bottle, a special edition Highland single malt distilled on Christmas Day almost 60 years ago.
The Glengoyne, 1967, Christmas Day. 5 bids on it, and I'm going to start at 400, 420, 450, 480, 500.
There's a flurry of bids in the room and a very keen bidder online.
550, 600, 650, 700, 800, 850, 900. I'm out on the book now and I've 950 online. 950, 950.
That is amazing.
950 at £950.
That's one expensive Christmas tipple.
First class to Phuket.
156. So you've had a good day?
Yes, definitely.
It's really obvious that the bottles you've acquired, you knew what you were doing. You're actually going to be taking home £6,891.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a good way on your holiday.
Yeah, but things that were collecting dust in the cupboard, that's not bad at all.
Exactly.
I would definitely be celebrating with a dram tonight.
So I get good holiday out of it.
Maybe.
I am so glad we managed to raise so much money for Ian and Wendy. They really deserve a trip of a lifetime after the few years they've had. I'm so pleased for them that we've raised such a great figure.
Many of the items sold at the Edinburgh Auction House are things that have fallen out of fashion over the years, but are now very much back in vogue with collectors.
Oh, well.
Sale room manager Gavin and valuer Scott are cataloguing some old toys for an upcoming auction of retro collectibles.
Do the missiles fire? Please tell me.
No, they don't.
this is not a playground.
We've got to make sure the toys work.
We've actually got work to do today. I'm off to East Ayrshire. I'm off to a place called New Mills. It's an old family home. I'm actually hoping there might be quite a lot of toys, because I've seen some photos. I might even find you each a tank to play with. So anyway, I think Roscoe and I should make tracks, and you guys can get on with some work. Come on, Roscoe.
Joining Sybelle on today's job are removals man Scott and art expert Michael.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Sybelle. How are you?
Good. Are you having a good run?
Oh, aye. Oh, beautiful weather. Gorgeous.
We're off to see a chap who's clearing his father's house as he's gone off into care. Right. And you're going to love me for this, because it's what you really love. I think there are paintings, Michael.
But hey. OK, super, Sybelle. No problem.
OK, thanks.
See you then.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Sybelle and the boys have a 90-minute drive west to New Mills in Ayrshire, where Robert and his son Bobby are waiting at Robert's parents' house.
My mum unfortunately passed away a few months ago. My dad has quite bad dementia, worse than I think my mum was letting on. And so my dad had to go into full-time care. Hopefully we're going to have the house emptied and I can rent it out and help pay for Dad's care.
There definitely is a lot of stuff, and there's, like, it's a weird combination of old and new.
And there are things that I don't know if they're worth 2p or they're worth £2,000. So it would be nice to have an expert eye over everything.
Hi, I'm Sybelle.
Hi, I'm Robert.
Nice to meet you.
Bobby.
Lovely, and you've got some treasures hopefully to show me today.
Yeah, we do.
Right, let's go in and have a look. Oh, this is lovely here. Is really everything going to go, have you decided?
Yes, anything that's not nailed down, I think if it's sellable auction, the more we can get from our dad, the better.
Are you happy if I just go upstairs and have a wander and see what we can find?
Yeah, of course.
Sybelle's mission today is to find the collectible gems hidden amongst 5 decades' worth of the family's belongings.
Look what I've just found. I've just found a football. It's got lots of signatures on it. Kevin Keegan. Now, he, I'm sure, had a perm in the 80s, a bit like me. Joe Corrigan, if my memory serves me right, was the goalkeeper. So this might well be from the World Cup in 1982. I think in Spain it was held. A nice find. People do collect these things.
Robert's dad, Bert, won the football in a competition back in the 1980s.
My dad used to be what they call a comper. He used to enter competitions back in the days when there actually was some skill involved. He also won some things that perhaps we didn't want, like we've never had a cat and he won a year's supply of cat food.
Eyeing up the furniture, Sybelle's on the hunt for more collectibles.
These could sell incredibly well if they're what I think they are. And what we're hoping for is, yes, they're G-plan. This is a nest of 3 G-plan teak tables. And not so long ago, I remember disposing of these because they were unsaleable. And now they make more than a Georgian chest of drawers. They're in fashion. People love them for their modern houses, and there'd be loads of bidders for these.
Let's see what we're going to find today.
Now the boys have arrived, it's time to start loading up.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Sybelle.
Lots for us today. So you got lots of packing stuff. Right, let's go in and make a start.
Fantastic.
But first, Sybelle's got something to show Michael that could be the find of the day.
I spotted these. I thought these were your sort of forte. I think they're really interesting.
I really like these. Absolutely cracking paintings.
Paintings by well-known local artists usually sell very well at the Edinburgh Auction House.
Just 2 minutes, I'll have these off the wall and
Perfect.
see who the
Thanks
artist is.
very much.
Michael is Sybelle's most knowledgeable art expert, so if anyone can identify this pair of paintings, he can.
This is John McNichol. He was a Scottish artist and he did a lot round Ayrshire. Signed in red in the bottom left corner, Jai McNichol. I mean, that one there, it could be Dean Castle, just outskirts of Kilmarnock. We do get a lot of these coming through the auction, and these are really quite attractive ones. Lovely use of oils on board, and I think they'll do really well.
In Robert's old boyhood room, Sybelle might have hit the jackpot.
Normally when you think of auctions, you think about antiques and furniture, but the market for toys like these is really strong at the moment, and people love collectibles. And lots of older men love buying toys at auction, so they can play with them, but they can have the idea that they're not toys, they're collectibles. This has just caught my eye. The $6 Million Man. Now, this was produced after a series was filmed in 1973. The big problem with this is its condition. If this had been in pristine condition, in a perfect box, it would be a good few £100. But sadly, it's been well loved, which means there must be people who must have had hours playing with it.
This home holds lots of memories for Robert.
My mum from the 60s.
Many of them linked to items he's saying goodbye to.
I found it very difficult to let go of the John McNichol paintings because they have been on a wall in that house for as long as I can remember. Seeing that wall empty was pretty hard.
The van's now loaded up with everything Sybelle can sell at auction.
Looks so big.
It does, yeah.
How are you feeling?
It has to be done. I think we need to look after my dad now in this stage of his life, and we're renting it out, we're not selling it, so we're not getting rid of it just yet.
No. Oh, it's a real wrench when things have gone. We're going to do our best for you at auction.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This must be so difficult and sad for Robert. The family have lived in this lovely house for 50 years and they've made the decision to empty the house of its contents. But his things will be re-loved. The next owner of some of these toys we've looked at, you can imagine another father and son sitting playing with them.
At the Edinburgh Auction House, the team wastes no time in getting Robert and Bobby's items unloaded and catalogued for the upcoming collector's sale. Gavin is doing a maintenance check on some model aircraft that used to belong to Robert.
What we have here is dinky toys. Originally, from about the 1930s, they were made, and actually during the Second World War, they made a model of the Spitfire to help fund the war effort, and they would use the money to make the actual real Spitfire planes.
These models of a Hawker Hurricane and a Messerschmitt aren't quite so old, both dating from the 1970s.
So this one's the Messerschmitt. The landing gear still works. Look at that. Oh, yes. This one, we'll be looking at £50, £60, and I wouldn't be surprised if it made a little bit more because it's in such good condition. I can see a collector really wanting that.
Today's the big day for the Retro Collectibles auction. Robert and Bobby have made the 70-mile journey from Ayrshire to Edinburgh to say a final farewell to their items.
Yeah, there's a few things we'll be sorry to see go, but it's for the greater good. You know, I need to pay for my dad's care. The paintings, I'm more concerned that they go to a good home.
Yeah.
It's time to get settled in and start the auction. Assisting Sybelle with today's sale are her son Cameron and David, who will be keeping an eye on the online bids. And Stuart is on portering duties.
Thank you, Gavin.
Sybelle is kicking off with the signed football.
The English football bearing signatures including Peter Shelton and Kevin Keegan and many others. And who would like to start me at £30 for it? Straight in online at 30. 30 bid, 32, 32. Are there no football interests in the room?
Not English football, Scottish Auction House.
Luckily, there's now two keen online bidders.
45, 48, 55, 60. At 60. Anyone else going on at £60?
Hey!
Sold to a collector south of the border. Now for the toys. It's the Dinky Toys Hawker Hurricane model plane.
At 20 bid, 20 bid, 38, 40.
That's not bad.
Anyone else going on at £45?
The plane comes in to land £5 over the estimate, and the Messerschmitt starts high with an online bidder.
We're at 50, jump to 50.
Oh, that's worth more than the other one.
Anyone else going on at £55? Flown away nicely.
It's £100.
It's lift-off time for another one of Robert's childhood toys.
The $6 million manned bionic transport and a repair station. And can start straight in at 15 bid, 18, 20, 30, 40, 50.
The online bids are lighting up the screen.
Holy moly.
£60 for the $1 million man.
That's more than what I paid for it.
75. You're all out in the room. We're at 85. 85. Selling on the internet at 85 at £85.
Wow.
Not quite $6 million, but that's not too shabby. Over the next 15 minutes, Sybelle auctions off 25 more of Robert and Bobby's items.
At £65.
Including a collection of vintage games and toys.
At £15.
And the G-Plan nest of tables.
At £48.
Finally, it's the moment of truth for the John McNichol paintings.
Lovely painting this, very nice indeed. And I'm going to start straight in at £100 for it. 100.
Don't know if I've got any higher than that.
130. 140.
But every time it goes up, I get a bit less sentimental.
Any advance on 160 at £160.
The first painting is sold to a bidder from Ayrshire.
Going back to its hometown.
Oh, fantastic.
Now for the other picture.
Made £100 for it. 110. 120.
The Ayrshire bidder wants this one too, but there's competition.
130. 140. 150. At £160. Well, they both stay together and go back hanging on the walls.
A fantastic result for the paintings. A good overall tally will really help Robert with the cost of his dad's care.
Hi again.
Hello, hello.
Yeah. Oh, so how do you feel it went?
Yeah, it went good. Some things went for what we expected, some things went for a wee bit more.
Yeah?
So, yeah, it was very good.
And the pair of pictures have gone to the same home and they are going back to Ayrshire.
Oh, they are going back to Ayrshire, as long as they're going to a good home.
So have you any thoughts of what you think it came to?
I no clue. Probably
a couple of hundred at least.
I'd say a couple hundred. Maybe.
It's done rather better than that.
Ooh.
So it's made £1,101.
Oh, there you go.
So, you know, that should be a big help to your dad.
Oh, fantastic, yeah. Well, yeah, every little helps. Sybelle and the whole team have been brilliant from start to finish. We're one step closer to having the house empty and renting it out, and there's a wee bit of money there so we can help dads and have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I was so pleased that the pair of paintings made such a great price, and it's so nice for Robert because I felt that was the bit he found the hardest to sell. So I think a good price is a good consolation for him.